Industry veterans, freshers, college students, or even hobbyists, whenever they want to code, they use some kind of system or a station. And many of them choose to use laptops for this purpose. Now, why laptops? Laptops because laptops provide a large number of benefits. And one of the most important benefit they provide is mobility. It's very easy to carry a laptop anywhere you want. And this is not the case when you have a large PC with a large box, right? And that's why we use laptops. And that's why in this video, guys, we'll be going through all the best laptops there are for programming for the year of 2021, right? Because programmers mostly use laptops and they're always looking to get new laptops. Before we do get started, guys, I want to tell you guys about something called Great Learning Academy. Here, we provide more than 80 plus free courses in which you can register, finish the course, and get a certificate for yourself after you pass the quiz. You can go ahead and do this for more than 80 plus free courses, and you can go ahead and do this on our website or on our mobile app and earn a free certificate for yourself. Also, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and wait for more of our awesome videos. Now let's proceed. A small disclaimer before we proceed. See, the thing about the lists I'm going to give you is that, these are just laptops. Remember, these are just the tools. It's how you utilize the specifications of these laptops that actually matters, right? Just so keep this in mind and move forward knowing this, right? So let's start by discussing what are the requirements you will need to know before you look for a programming laptop. So if you're doing some kind of research by yourself, you need to have some requirements in mind. What do you want out of this laptop? And for programming, we have a specific set of requirements. So let's see what these requirements are. So the first requirement I want to talk about is a powerful processor. See, it's very important to have a powerful processor because of the compilation process. You'll be compiling a lot of different times when you're coding. So this process entirely depends on a laptop, CPU, and hence we need to make sure that we have a very efficient as well as fast processor, right? So now let's talk about the next requirement, that is having a good amount of RAM. Again, it is very important to have a good amount of memory, both RAM and secondary storage, because a good amount of RAM added with an SSD can do wonders for the processing. And you can also multitask way more easily than you could ever before. Another requirement is to have a very comfortable keyboard because you'll be coding night and day for long periods of time. So you need to make sure that you will not get some carpal tunnel syndrome or get really tired really fast when you're typing. So you need to make sure that the laptop you have is very comfortable. Another thing that you need to make sure is that you need to have a good resolution and possibly a high resolution display. So this means that if you're going for a laptop, look for laptops that have full HD displays or even 4K displays. This is because, again, you'll be coding for long hours, you'll be programming for long hours, so you need to be looking at the screen for long hours. So you need to make sure that you don't have to strain your eyes to look at the screen. So this is another important requirement. So these are the 4 important requirements that I think that you guys should need to know before looking at any laptops. That is processor, RAM, comfortable keyboard, and display. And then we have a lot of different minor requirements like the weight of the laptop and the operating system there is. Now, a lot of laptops, are very heavy. So the whole portability issue becomes, redundant because you cannot carry that heavy laptop daily. So you need to make sure that the laptop you're looking at is lower weight. And also one more thing that you need to make sure is when you're buying a laptop is the operating system there is. So with a lot of Mac laptops, you're going to get Mac OS. And for a lot of other laptops, you may get a Windows or Linux-based operating systems. So you need to look at what are your personal requirements and what are the requirements of a company that you're working in. So there you'll decide what kind of OS you want and you'll go for laptops in such a way. So these are all the different requirements that you guys need to keep in mind before you go ahead and look at the laptops. See, these requirements have been taken with the assumption that you want a laptop again. If you want something else, you can always go ahead and get a PC for yourself with a large screen, or just supplement already existing laptop with a larger screen, with a better keyboard, and with a better mouse, and all those kind of things. But here we are keeping the assumption in mind that you want a new, fresh laptop. All right, so now let's move on and let's discuss the laptop list. What are the amazing laptops that you can buy in the year 2021 for programming? So I have prepared a list and have categorized them into three categories. The first category is no expense spared. So these laptops range from 80k rupees and above. Now these laptops are going to be very expensive laptops. You do not necessarily need to get them, but if you have the fiscal means to indulge, then you should go ahead and try them out. Then we have the middle ground, which is where I think a lot of you will be excited about, because this is where your budget falls under generally. And this is 40 to 80k rupees. So these are your mid-range laptops, right? So we'll be talking about those also. And last but not least, we have this will have to do range. This is our 20 to 40k range. So this is when you are very, you're on a very tight budget and you cannot afford more than this particular price point. So that's why we have the 20 to 40k budget also. So let's go ahead and check out all the different laptops in these categories. So the first category we have is no expense spared. As I said earlier, this is the list of laptops you look at when you have the fiscal means to indulge in these kind of laptops. They have a lot of luxuries, if I might say. So let's look at them. So we'll start off by talking about the first laptop that I think that you guys will like is the Apple MacBook Pro M1. Now, this is one of the new laptops Apple has come up with. If you look at its specifications, you can see that it has a 13.3-inch Retina display. Even though the screen is small, it has Apple's, a very awesome Retina display. So it's always going to be full HD. It has 8 GB of RAM. It has the new Apple Silicon M1 integrated processor. Then it has 512 GB SSD. And it's worth around 1,42,000 rupees. Now the price tag is very large for this laptop, but again it's Apple, and Apple is always ahead of the game. They've actually shifted away from having to take other people's integrated graphics processors and integrated processors to making their own. So this has Apple Silicon integrated graphics card also, which is a bit of an older card, but again, Apple is testing them out and they always come out on top of the game, right? So some things that you guys need to know about this laptop is it has a very good battery life. It has like around 17 hours of battery life, and it is kind of lightweight in the 1.4 kilograms kind of, scene. And also it is using a backlit keyboard, so that is also going to be good for those times when you have to code in the night. So I think this is a good laptop, but the price tag may be too much for some people. But if you like Apple products, then this is something that I would recommend for you to go. Then we have MSI GL65 Leopard. Now, this is not exactly a programming laptop, but it provides all those things, all the specifications you would need for a very heavy-duty programming laptop, especially if you're into something like data science or something, right? Because as you can see, it's making use of 10th Gen Intel Core i7. It has 256 GB of SSD, that is solid-state drive, and 1 TB of hard drive space. So it has a lot of space, and it has an SSD. So processing is definitely going to be faster. The resolution of the screen is really good. It's 15.6. That's a big screen, and it's completely full HD, and it has 16 GB of RAM. So this, even though specs wise, is better than Apple, and you can see that the price is lower than Apple's. Again, Apple has its brand, recognition, and they charge a lot for it. And MSI over here, it's really top notch in the gaming field. So if you're looking to have a laptop that can game as well as, code, then this is a laptop I would suggest. But again, if you look at the weight of this laptop, it has 2.3 kilograms of weight, which is not a lot, but again, it's, still something to consider. And it has, again, graphics card that is the NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 260, which is a very top-notch graphics card that I would also, recommend for gaming purposes. All right, so this is one of those laptops. And next we're going to move on to Acer. Now you might be surprised to see Acer on this list, but again, this is a part-time gaming laptop. So Predator is very popular for that, especially the Helios 300 version. If you look at the specifications, it has 15.6 Full HD screen, 16 GBs of RAM, i7 10th Gen. It has 512 GBs of SSD and 1 TB of hard drive. And it is around the same price range of the previous laptop, right? Which was our MSI GL665 Leopard. So here again, it falls in the similar range of having, around 2.5 kilograms of weight, which is kind of high. But again, if you want a gaming laptop package within it, and it does not provide a lot of battery life like our Apple laptop did. It has only 8 hours like the previous one. Like MSI also provided 8 hours, and just like the MSI, it is also individually lit RGB keyboard, so you have again something to do when you are coding in night. So it has that ability. If we move on to our last laptop in this no expense spared laptop, we have again another laptop, and this is from Asus. This is Asus ROG laptop, Strix G15. So this is again another gaming laptop which has 15-inch full HD screen, 16 GBs of RAM, i7 9th Gen, and 512 GBs of SSD. But again, you are seeing that the price is dropping. It's only 88K. So if you are in the budget range of 70 to 90K, this is a laptop I would recommend, especially for coding purposes. And here again, you can see the weight class is similar. It's 2.3 kilograms, same as our MSI, and it has 6 to 8 hours of battery life. The graphics card being used over here is a lower one. It's a GTX 1650 Ti, which is not as good, but again, the price is lower, so it's being contributed over there. All right, so let's move on to our next category, that is the middle ground category. And I know a lot of you are excited for this category because this is where most of you probably will be working around. So the first laptop we have here again is an Asus ROG laptop, but this is a different version. This is Zephyrus G. So if you look at the specifications, it's 15.6 Full HD screen, 16 GBs of RAM, but it's not using an integrated Intel graphics card. It's using Ryzen 7 Quad Core 3750H, which is provided by Ryzen. Again, a competitor to Intel in this scenario. But again, if you are fine with that, this is the laptop that you can go for. And it has 512 GBs of solid state drive. It's priced around 74K, and that is a good amount. But again, in this range of mid-range, it's pretty up there. So it has a backlit keyboard, again for nighttime coding. It's really good. It comes with Windows 10. It's in the weight range of 2.1 kilograms, and it has a relatively lower battery life, that is 6 hours. And it uses the graphics card 1660 Ti Max-Q. So with those requirements in mind, again, I want to remind you guys that this list that I'm giving you is not a ranking list. This is just a set of laptops in the different categories that I think will suit a lot of different people, depending on your requirements, right? So this was Asus ROG Zephyrus G. Let's move on. We'll talk about Asus Aspire 7. Now, Asus Aspire 7 has, again, a 15.6 Full HD screen, but the RAM over here, we see the first reduction in RAM, like it's 8 GBs of RAM. It has i7, 9th Gen. It has 512 GBs of solid state drive. It has a backlit keyboard. It is in the weight range of 2.15 kilograms, but it has a good battery life, relatively 8.5 hours, which is good. And it has a 4 GB NVIDIA GeForce 650, right? So those are the different things. So here, again, you're finding the price tag of 73K, and you're finding a mid-range gaming laptop as well as a coding laptop. So again, Acer is a good company when it comes to these kind of laptops. And if you are in this kind of range, then you should go for Acer Aspire 7. Now let's talk about Asus ZenBook. So this is another, Asus laptop that we're talking about. But again, this is not an ROG laptop. This will fall in your notebook kind of category, where you have a lot of different notebooks. So a lot of coders go for notebooks. Some go for gaming laptops. It really depends. So let's look at the specifications. The screen is a bit smaller. It has 14 inches of Full HD screen, only 8 GBs of RAM. It is i5 10th gen, which is not bad, and it is 512 GBs of solid state drive. But you can see the price tag is up because of certain extra features that it has. If you see the mouse pad, it has the option of using a lot of different keys on your mouse itself. So they're providing that as a feature, and that's why they're asking for a lot. Now it has a good body, like it's a metallic body, and one good thing about it, it is one of the lowest weight category laptops. It is only 1.1 kilograms, which is really good when you have to travel a lot. It has 8 hours of battery life, and it is using an integrated Intel UHD graphics card. So not really a gaming laptop, but you can use it for coding purposes, especially if you're working in pure coding and not in data science and those kind of fields where you need a lot of processing power. Right? So let's move on and let's talk about HP Omen Ryzen 5. So here, let's list the requirements. Again, it falls in the similar range of our Asus ROG and Acer Aspire laptops, but this is by HP. This is the Omen series, and if you see, the requirements are kind of same. The specifications, that is 15.6 Full HD screen, 8 GBs of RAM. It is using a different processor, that is AMD Ryzen 5 for 4600H 6-core processor. There's a lot of cores over here, and we have 512 GBs of standard solid state drive space. So again, the whole price tag is falling in the range of 75K, right? So this is the list that I've given you over here is the upper range of the 40 to 80K. So that's why you see a lot of gaming laptops also here. So another laptop that I would recommend for you guys to check out, this is not in this list, is a Lenovo ThinkPad. Though that laptop is really awesome. It's very utilitarian. It's a little heavy, but it has all the specifications that you may need in a coding laptop, like 15.6 Full HD screen, 8 GBs of RAM, i5 10 gen, and 512 GBs of solid state drive. And the price tag generally falls around to 50 to 60, and depending on the specifications, you can even get it to 40, right? All right, so let's come to this will have to do category. Now, one thing that I want to tell you guys is that any of the laptops that you saw in the earlier categories, you can reduce the price tag on them. How do you do that? You reduce it by going for lower specifications. So let's say that you do not want a full HD screen, then you can have the price reduced. But that also depends on whether it's available or not. In some cases, you might find a 16 GB variation of it or an 8 GB variation of it. The prices will reduce accordingly. So look at your requirements, what are your personal requirements, and buy accordingly. Now let's come back to this will have to do category. Over here, the first laptop we have is HP 15S. Now, this laptop is a very low range laptop. Again, the price of HP 15S is 42K. So this falls in the upper category of this list, where it has this price tag because of the amount of space it's providing, and it has a solid state drive also. But it is i3. So again, processing power is lowered, but it is the latest version of i3. It has 8 GBs of RAM, so that should suffice. And it has a few extra things like an anti-glare panel. And it has very thin bezels if you're into that. And the weight is very low. So in this category, you're going to see that the weight of all of these laptops is very low. The weight of HP15S is 1.7 kilograms. It provides an 8-hour battery life, and it is using an Intel UHD 624H graphics card. All right, so let's move on to talk about Asus. So Asus has another listing in this category, that is the VivoBook 14. Now you can go for VivoBook 14 or 15. So again, that is another way to reduce the price or increase the price depending on your requirements. If you're going for a latest version, you will have to pay a little bit more. If you look at the requirements, 14-inch Full HD screen, 8 GBs of RAM, 10th gen Intel Core i3, 1 TB HD hard drive space, and 128 solid state drive space. So SSDs are important. If you want a laptop purely for coding, I would recommend going for like a pure SSD laptop because those are very fast. But again, if your price budget is low, then you should go for a mix of both of these things. So this Asus VivoBook 14 is also good. It provides an anti-glare panel and thin bezels, and it is 1.6 kilograms in weight and provides a 6-hour battery life, which is not relatively high speaking to all the other laptops we've talked about, but it's manageable, and it has the same graphics card as the HP 15S. Now let's come to a newcomer in this industry, that is me. So Xiaomi has been making a lot of phones and they have tried to get into other markets, and notebook is one of the markets that they're getting to. So a lot of times people who are working in business industry, I mean like working in business and have managerial roles, they go for notebooks, and a lot of coders also go for notebooks. So this is a good laptop, I think, for coders. Here, you can go for a 14-inch Full HD screen, 8 GB of RAM, 10th Gen Intel Core i3, 256 GB SATA SSD, and the price tag is pretty low, 34K. So this is one of the best laptops in this range that I think you should go for. Again, the track record of Xiaomi isn't that great, but if you like the products in the past, you should go for this. Since I really like the Xiaomi products I've had in past, I really have bias against for this laptop. Now coming to our last laptop in this list is a Dell laptop. Now I know a lot of you would be thinking of why hasn't he included any of the Dell laptops. Again, this list is less of an objective list and more of a subjective list where I think I've generalized for a lot of different people. That's why I didn't think Dell is something that a lot of people should go for, but we do have a Dell laptop in the lower category. That is Dell Inspiron 3593. You can look at the requirements over here. That is 15.6 full high quality display. Then you have 4 GBs of RAM, 10 Gen Intel Core i3, 1 TB of hard drive, and the price tag is pretty low. 36K. It's not very low, but you get 1 TB of hard drive and a very good screen. So guys, these are the different laptops that I think that you guys should go for. Especially, check out all the different requirements, pause the video. If you like a specific laptop, research more about it, see if it's something that fits you, and then go for it. But there's one thing I want to tell you guys. The best laptop you need for programming is the laptop you currently have. Now, this is especially true for, beginners in coding. If you're a person who's new to coding, I would recommend to use a laptop that you already have, right? Because you don't need a new laptop to start coding. You can code in any laptop you have. So don't waste your money or your parents' money in buying a new laptop just to code. Buying a new laptop just for coding is for people reserved for professionals, right? But again, I don't want to limit you. If you have the means, definitely go for that, right? But this is something that you should keep in mind. Best laptop you need for programming is the laptop you currently have. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this list, and I hope that this helped you out in deciding what laptop you need to get for the year of 2021 for the purpose of coding. Now guys, before we end this video, I want to tell you about Great Learning again. Great Learning Academy is an amazing place where you're going to get more than 80 plus free courses and you can earn yourself a free certificate. You can go ahead and visit our website for the same, or go ahead and download the app and do it from your mobile. And also guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, thank you so much for watching.